Hello everyone, my name's Dokriva and, well, I'm sort of trying to get back again. I mean, I promised last time that I would take it easy and then I disappeared again for a few months. It's just, life's been rough. Adjusting to the hormones has been crazy. Getting sick didn't help either, and it just killed my mood again to record more. But with the upcoming Stellaris expansion, I want to get back into it again. And also, there's, of course, more games that I really would like to play and showcase. And one of those games happens to be Surviving the Aftermath, which is the sort of upcoming / already in early access available surviving game from Paradox and Iceflake Studios. And I actually really enjoy it, so that's why I'm gonna play it. And they released update number 5 today, which is the Sanctuary update, which, if I'm not mistaken, comes with a new background as well. I don't remember what the background was yesterday, but anyway, so there have been 5 major updates since its initial release in October. There's the expanded colony that gives more stuff to do in the colony, bandits and society that added trade, outposts, stuff like that. There's the expeditions, which is like there are now cars in the game, pretty cool. Specialists are a little bit different. Great Minds, which revamped the tech tree. There are society leaders, visuals, other improvements, stuff like that. But of course, Sanctuary is the new one from today. And this update's main edition Oh, the spelling is not the best. I will say that. Actually, before I continue, I turned the music or the sound down, but it's still quite loud when it's at the peak of its music cycle, I suppose. So, Sanctuary, this update's main edition adds more variety to catastrophes. First off, they're phased in slower and peak at different stages. New ways to counter the harsh elements include buildings like Lightning Rod and Saunas. Bartering has been improved in a big way, as we've introduced coins into the game and redone the UI. The tech tree has also received a major update in the form of reducing its 5 branches to 4. Excuse me for that. I am also trying to do voice training, so I'm trying to speak at a higher frequency than you might be used to. So if I sound a bit weird, tough, deal with it. And I might actually start sounding different throughout recording episodes because it will probably... I can't keep this up for too long just yet. That's why I need to do the training, obviously. So there's that. Anyway, catastrophes are familiars. Crops are sensitive to catastrophes around them, will wither from stress during heat waves and nuclear fallout instead of vanishing immediately. That's good. I haven't actually had a heat wave yet. I've had nuclear fallouts. I have played the game a little bit before. Anti-catastrophe buildings, there are saunas and lightning rods. The trade system is overhauled and some other things. Lightning tweaks, visual improvements to the sky, new models for the events, and the tech tree has been rearranged to provide the best possible experience. Lastly, the new pre-game selection of ideologies allows you to select what kind of a leader you'd be and what unique advancements you bring to the table, which will be expanded upon in the future. Anyway, so we are going to start a new game. I'm confident I don't need tutorial messages anymore, but maybe for you all, since this is my first video of this game, I will leave them on. So you get to choose quite a bit of things before you even start into the game, and there are several categories. We'll go through them as we choose what we will pick. I will go with the average stuff, like not too easy but not too challenging just yet. The game is still very much in development, So going for the easiest or the hardest doesn't feel like it's... On average, it is okay in difficulty. It's not hard at all, I feel. But going for the hardest is like, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, the environment. There are only few who remember the spark that started it all. A chain reaction of global catastrophes wiped out most of the planet's population and made people turn against each other. Those who were left must now survive the aftermath. In this post-apocalyptic world. So either cities are demolished but nature prevailed, the world is desolate and unforgiving, or the planet is a barren wasteland. And here you can also read what each different environment level does. So we're going with average. The world is desolate and unforgiving. So catastrophes. Slowly but surely modern civilizations crumbled as catastrophes kept swooping across the continents. Cities were destroyed and the planet itself suffered permanent damage. Oh my. So the worst is past, time to rebuild. It's still a dangerous world, but will prevail. It feels like the apocalypse never ended. So we're going to go with the second level. Now, immersion-wise, personally, I feel like the meteor showers feel a little bit weird. It's like you get consistent meteor showers now. Like, how? What happened to the world? Like, I get the nuclear fallout and the nuclear, like, cloud storm happening, like the crazy electrical storms because of the nuclear stuff, obviously, heat waves, cold waves, whatever else. The meteor showers seem a bit out there, but it's still a dangerous world. Resources. Everyone has their breaking point. Eventually it is not enough just to survive through the day. People need hope, and there finally is some. It has been a long road to get here, but what that which was before can now be left in the past. So either the indestructible bunker collapsed, the trusted car finally broke down, or after walking for ages, this is where they stop. And the trusted car finally broke down. There's actually a car where you start, which is like your starting warehouse with your resources. So I think you either have the bunker or you have just random stuff on the ground. But yeah, the trusted car finally broke down. Survivors. The people around you are the thin red line which keeps the group alive. They are far from perfect, but everyone has made it this far. You can trust them with your life and they trust you with theirs. You will see that each level has different levels of difficulty added. So it means how easy it is in general, and by picking the average we get an average difficulty overall. Anyway, hardened individuals who thrive in this world gives you the most people. Group of ambiguous misfits gives you the least. But we are a band of survivors able to take care of ourselves. Ideology, okay, this is the new thing added, and it actually doesn't give you difference in difficulty, which is good in itself. But there's no survival guide for a post-apocalypse like this. Different people have different ideas on how to survive with none more right or wrong than the other. Unlocks more options in the tech tree. What kind of leader are we? So either are a hardy survivalist, we are a colony builder, or a wasteland explorer. Now personally, I probably am a colony builder, so I'm going to pick this one. But this is basically not so much a difficulty choice, but more a how you play the game. Like, I think Wasteland Explorer you get more from going out with your specialists. Hardy Survivalists get more out of what you got. I mean, you maybe get more resources harvested, something like that. But keeping the colony running and growing seems like a fun one. Anyway, the Gatekeeper. Life is unfair, but sometimes it feels like you're not alone. Whether it is an invisible guardian or just pure fate, but it sure feels like someone is watching over us. So either the path is challenging but worth the risk, it's a tough road to walk but never unfair, or suffering or success. You can probably compare these the best with RimWorld, where you have the very easy, lenient going. I don't remember what her name is in the game. There's the middle of the road, which is Cassandra Classic, and Suffering or Success. It's called Chaotic. It's not saying it's hard, it's just anything is possible, which is basically Randy Savage and the random stuff. Like, you can actually see, the first one is not difficult, like least difficult, and the second and third are similar in difficulty, but it's probably... The second one is more a gradual slope of difficulty, while the third one, you can just get a meteor strike on day 2. I don't want that particular idea. Nah, it's a tough road. Now we get a flag. Well, I'm definitely going to pick pink. And I love how they still added the Brussels sprouts thing that was also in Surviving Mars. Also really excellent game. Different developer though. But yeah, I think this is also a nice one with the flag and the flag on the flag. It's a flag. It could also be the deadly cobras. The sort of modern hammer and sickle. I'll pick the modern hammer and sickle. And then we have some name stuff. I like the name New Caledonia. It was actually the name of our last colony as well. But there are some just random names to choose from. Skylight seems fine. Now, our colony motto: rebuild and prosper, survive and thrive, endure and overcome, adapt and overcome. Cats won't go quietly into the night. We will not surrender without a fight. Today is our... Yeah, it's... For a better tomorrow... I think for a better tomorrow, today seems fine. These are basically what we just chose. It's a summary. Let's just dive into the game and see where we go. Whew. This talking in like a higher pitch for this long is actually exhausting, but it's good for me to do this, and I hope to sound better and better over time. But yeah, getting back into this, I mean, it would be another massive step to go. Ooh, they actually changed the bug. Like, yesterday when I was playing, this was a ladybug. Now it's maybe a cockroach? I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, so I paused the game because that makes it a little bit easier. I did see the trailer. Oh, yeah, fine, go away. I saw the trailer and I was like, ooh, they actually did a lot with the decorations, which I'm like, I'm gonna try and build this colony a little bit more aesthetically pleasing than I did the last one. Ooh. And yeah, the difference with my previous generation is actually I had water right next to our starting area. Well, it's now all the way over here or over there. And starting near the water is really good because it allows you to build some fishermen. So I'm probably going to be starting with this lake or this lake with our first food buildings. Anyway, 10 colonists are homeless, so I need to build some housing for them. These are our starting resources. We have 10 colonists, of which 7 are currently carriers, which basically carriers are your adults not assigned to actual buildings that to work, which means they do stuff like gather food or wood from like this ruined house over here. That's useful to know as well. There's also very important metal and plastic gathering in the early game. Over here we have gate ruins, and once we build our gate, we can actually go out into the world as well. So first things first, I'm going to take this stockpile and move the work area down here, which allows us to gather planks and concrete. We only start with 35 of each with our, again, this is the car that we came in. As we picked at the start of the game, we have our broken car. So it starts us off with some other resources as well. There's also the food storage. We're going to need some extra food. Now I'm going to not pick these berries for now because, well, these are two together and that means I don't have to move the work area as often in the beginning of the game. Now the two things that we are really desperate for right now are water and housing. Now, we have tents and emergency shelters. Emergency shelters are just temporary. It's better to just straight up build 5 tents. I mean, you could do it with 2 emergency shelters or 1 shelter and 2 tents. That will fill you up as well. The difference is, well, 3 plastic. That's the only difference. So I don't feel like it's necessary to not build the tents, basically. So we are going to build like a couple of tents over here. Also really nice is that WASD movement. So we're gonna, okay, yeah, like raised ridges you cannot build on, which is annoying at times, but not important. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The tents are mostly temporary. Once we get science going, I will be upgrading to higher level buildings anyway, so I will also build a dirt road. The roads are free of charge at the very least in this game, which is really good. And now we need the water well. We have the resources required for the water and the tents very easily. We do start with a very fertile starting area, which is really nice. Also, there is a production level, like there is unfertile land, which is like browner than the regular grasslands. And you get less water from them. As you can see over here in the middle, it's just 10 water with only 66 efficiency. If we go all the way over here, it goes up to 15 efficiency, which is probably a lot better to grab than the 10%. And the actual, they don't require workers, so it's just a build and forget kind of thing. So if I build it along the road level, this is the perfect spot for that. Well, so we can just build, oh, once the berries are gone, we can build a road through that area, but until then, it is, we do have a pile of nuclear waste right next to the well, but as far as I've seen, that doesn't actually affect anything. Anyway, we are building a water well and a 5 tents. Now, we have some luck. Our starting truck does have a capacity for water as well, so we're not stuck with having to build a water tower straight away, especially because we won't have the plastic for it either. So those things will become necessary as well, is getting fishing huts or trappers, but trappers cost plastic, so we can't build one yet. We will build a fishing hut over here, if I can find a spot where it works. As long as the efficiency is at 100%, we are golden over here. And this is the spot where we'll build it, because that's the available spot. I suppose we will build it roughly here. If we need to, we can build, I think, did I just perfectly place that for another tent? I actually did, huh. I spaced that out really well, I suppose. But yeah, we can't build the road through here for some reason. We'll figure that out as we go on. So right now, I'm going to unpause on normal speed. So we are building a fishing hut, which will start us getting some cheap early food and easy food. Like, you can actually run your colony on very few food sources in the beginning. Like, getting a fisherman and 1 trapper is probably enough in the early game, which is nice. So there's a lot of fertile area here. I'm not sure if I think this green is enough for fields, so this will probably become my food production area for the most part. And over here we'll have our trading area, and then up here building and resources. Like, yeah, that seems fine. Now, what are the costs for our recycler and scrapper? Ah, the lumberyard. Yeah, we're also going to need a forester and a lumberyard very soon-ish. See, we built a tent and suddenly 2 less people are homeless, which is perfectly fine. We won't get new people until we rebuild the gate. So we actually will have enough with these 5 tents until we do. We do want to rebuild that gate pretty early on though, because it allows us to get new people. But our first group of additional colonists, I believe, is scripted to add a specialist, and a specialist allows you to explore on the world map, which is, hello, this is our world map. There's a farm with some food for us to gather, but we need specialists to do that, and I do believe that the first specialist is only triggered to arrive with rebuilding the gate. So the first part is we need a scrapper, because we do need to get, well, actually recycler, because we need to get that plastic going. We have 0 plastic. We also have 10 metal, 0 fiber, also very important. But I think the recycler is the most important start. Would have liked to build it right here. I will build it on this side of the road because, well, it is infertile land anyway, so it's not the most important part for that. I can't build farmland on it anyway. And like, you could build this right next to the plastic right at the start, but I mean, you can move the work area right next to it, so that's no problem there. We are collecting wood from here, so hopefully we will get enough wood pretty soon. We currently have 0, and we need 16 to finish the recycler. We need 8 concrete, and we only have 11 anyway. The fishing hut is working, and as you can see, we have Liam working here. Now he's going to actually work at the fishing hut, I believe, using a door. Working. So now that he's working, if we go to the fishing hut, you can see production has started on the fishing. So in a very short amount of time, we will get some fish. Like currently it's 2 per day, but it will go up with technology. But we are also down to 6 carriers because one of them is working in an actual building. But carriers are also the ones that gather stuff from the areas that the stockpiles are focused on. So you need carriers, and they also do the building, so they have multiple functions. They transport goods, they build stuff, and they gather resources from the regular piles on the land. We're gonna need foresters as well. We need quite a few foresters. They actually are not that fast at growing stuff, but it'll come in due time. Other things, we will eventually want a tool shop and a tailor so we can get clothing and tools. Workers work way less efficient without tools. They get sick a lot faster without clothing. In this beginning, everyone starts with clothes, but over time they will degrade and you will need new ones. Yeah, I get most of the tutorial. If it's in like something new, that's fine. But like basic controls, it's WASD to move the camera around and other things. There's a burial pit. That is wow. A modest burial pit where colonists are laid to rest after their earthly struggles come to an end. Having a decent final resting place for those who have passed away gives some comfort to the living. Destroying the pit will cause a happiness penalty to the entire colony. Corpses rot away in roughly 1 week, clearing space for those more recently deceased. Very grim. See, the planks and the concrete are being collected. The planks are immediately moving into the recycler. I think we did probably have a couple of planks. They were still being transported because we had 3 available, 6 here, and we only need 5 more to finish the recycler, so getting a few extra. Wild animal that might occasionally attack. Well, I haven't seen a wild boar attack colonists yet. Oh yeah, you could also play this with a controller because currently the game's only out in the Epic Game Store in early access, which is a nifty way to avoid, like, hey, it's an exclusive deal with Epic, but on the other hand, we're also like, you know, it's actually early access, so it's not really out anyway, but it will come out for consoles as well. I've already built shelters, so you want me to build even more shelters? Are you serious? Game, why you do this? See, we have 6 planks available. We need only 2 more to finish. But currently, everyone is either sleeping or having fun. Hey, Leo. Here you can see Leo's clothing have already gone down to 97%. Eventually, we'll get there. There's some deer here. Majestic deer. We have enough tents. People are sleeping. And that is actually the end of the first day. It still says current day 0, but that is the end of the first day. Now, in upcoming episodes, I will probably be going at a lot higher speed. But for like the start of the game, this is probably fine. Also, the game is gorgeous. Really, you can zoom in pretty far. There's some light fog going on. There's actually is that a stop sign? I'm not entirely sure what the sign says because we can't zoom in that far. Do not enter, it actually says. Huh. Interesting. So here's the gate to the outside world. Apparently it goes into a tunnel. Yeah, it goes into a tunnel. But once the gate is... here's a stop sign actually. But once the gate is constructed, we can go out. And also people will come by the gate to visit us as well. Yeah. Also, like, the terrain is randomly generated each time, which adds to replayability for sure. Like over here you can see there's a fence going around, which is your build area, and you have a massive build area actually. Like, it's insanely big how much space you get to play around with. Oh, look, some broken down electricity poles. Like, the colony is all the way over here, like super far away from this corner, and yeah. But you can spread out your colony lots, stuff like that. More metal, all these things everywhere. Like, there's a lot of room to work with, like a lot of room. So you don't actually have to build very cramped, but building it cramped is possible, yeah. So we're currently just making sure the stockpile finishes this area to clear, so we can use it for buildings and other stuff in the future. But yeah, that's going to be the end for this episode. I would like to thank you all for watching, and make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date in the future, and make sure to ding that bell to be instantly, well, I think instantly notified if there's an update. I'm not entirely sure about that one. I actually haven't dinged any bells myself, but that's because I have a very particular way of checking my subscriptions, and that is that my subscriptions page is my main link into YouTube. I actually don't go through the front page of YouTube. I always go into the subscriptions page. There's that. So this concrete ruin is being worked on. The plastics building is being constructed. The recycler. Now that is finished, we can easily build ourselves. Well, I still need to get used to these. We can get a scrapper going as well, just to make sure we also get our metal. We'll build it opposite the... Apparently it doesn't even fit in here. Now, it's exactly enough space for a scrapper there. You don't have plastic, but we can... Hey, look, I think that's Joe, isn't it? Oh no, Leo. I mean Leo. Oh, jeez. Oh, we also have detailed info. Punctual. Oh, they actually have traits. I didn't realize these people had traits. Holy crap. So you have athletic, educated, and punctual. Huh. Zoe, spiritual, believes in something larger than humankind. Farmhand, loves to see things grow and blossom. And educated as well. I think they're all educated. Actually no, washed up. And the pessimist, oof. Yeah, I know. Also, the deposit has been cleared, so we can move your work area over here. And that's first berries depleted. Perfect. Anyway, yes, thank you for watching, and I will see you all later.